how did the casting process take place? Who was selected first? How did you all fall into place?
Wow.
Well,
That's a good question.
well, there actually were 2 Happy Days pilots. And the first one, actually, the Fonzie character wasn't created yet. The Ralphie character wasn't created yet.
Right.
And
Was you, Marion, and Dad?
it was, yeah, and Harold Gould at the time.
And I wasn't in the pilot.
And you weren't in the
original
pilot. It was a different little girl. In fact, that's when we met on Lisa Bright and Dark.
Uh-huh. And he
Yeah.
put a good word for me.
But yeah, but anyway, it didn't sell, and they aired on Love American Style. It didn't sell. Then American Graffiti came out, and ABC said, "Yeah, geez, there's a show." We go, "Yeah, well, you should do that again."
Oh, yeah.
But they thought Ron and I might be too old, so this time, yes, seriously. So this time, we had to screen test. Did in the first one. So, but Ron, as smart as Ron is, he said, "You know something? What?" He says, he says, "I know when they screen test, they don't give you a lot of time. So if we rehearse ourselves and come prepared, maybe we'll have a better shot." Wow. So he figured out what set the screen test was going to be on. We snuck on there, they're painting it, and we blocked ourselves out. Wow. And we were first up the next morning, and Gary Marshall we had all these ideas. So he spent 2 hours with us and 20 minutes on everybody else. And we were able to, we landed the parts again. We had to really earn them this season.
And I was
True story.
And I was screen testing for Potsie.
You were screen testing for Potsie. Robbie Benz was screen testing. Everyone was screen testing. I'm like, oh my. And thank goodness we did that. But that was already, Ron was ahead of the game. And then, of course,
How did you get?
everything else is history.
I had just arrived. I came, we did the Lords of Flatbush in New York. I
Cool.
made
Was
I made
Sylvester
enough
Stallone?
money doing commercials in New York to come out here for 1 month. I rented a room with these 2 young ladies. They had cats that were bald.
What's the problem with that?
Now, because all of their hair was on my clothing. I'm not kidding. They were in Beechwood.
I remember you had 2 girls and your clothing was off?
2 weeks. No. Oh, I know. I just rented the room. I'm talking about the cats that I hated. And then I was invited to go to Paramount, and I walked in, and every actor I had ever seen in my life on television was in this room, and Henry. How are you? Oh, is this seat taken? You look very famous even sitting down. It's so nice. Could I have your autograph when we're done? And I walked in, and I don't know what took off. I had 6 lines, and a man named Pasquale was reading with me. And I made the choice that I was going to use my 6 lines to make him sit down. I would be the only one standing in the room. And then I threw the script up in the air, and I sauntered out. At the end of my month, when I had no more money left, on my birthday, they called and said, "Would you play the character?"
Wow. But you stomped out through your script.
Oh, I just, yeah.
So you just didn't hit the light switch and everything went on.
You know what? I didn't even know I could do that then. That came later.